Now that President Trump has closed the border, the administration is focused on a plan to accelerate the downward trend in overdose deaths across the U.S. Here to explain, Trump administration, drug czar, our friend Sara Carter is back. By the way, on this guy, Syed, I mean, this is a guy, if you look at him, you know, he tried to make a moral equivalency between Hamas, a known terror group in Israel, and, you know, he's also made comments. He understands the pain of people. You know, he framed it as students of people's pain, heinous acts of terrorism that he was making justifiable remarks for. He said after Ali Khamenei was killed, he said, oh, a lot of people here in Dearborn are very, very sad today. And you know, defund the police and every other bizarre position that he's taken. But any comments about him?
Well, look, Sean, Bernie Sanders, Saeed, and all these radical leftists, they spend more time defending communist countries like Cuba and communists like themselves, and then targeting U.S. law enforcement and putting illegal criminals ahead of American citizens. That's their goal. That's their entirety of their political career. Whereas President Trump and the White House are putting the American people first, putting children first, putting communities first, putting our nation first. Our national drug control strategy centers around supporting law enforcement, enhancing those efforts between all of our law enforcement agencies, our Homeland Security Task Force, our DEA, working together to target these cartels to ensure that we are stopping them at every single choke point. Whether they think they can't get their drugs in through the border, which they can't anymore, they're going to try to use air, land, sea, any route into the United States. We're going to find them, even if it's by mail, and we're going to hammer them and take them down. That is the promise of President Trump. It's putting the American people first. Bernie Sanders, Saeed, and all of these, you know, leftist radicals, they just put the American people last. And that's what the American people are seeing. And that's what they know. We're delivering a tangible document. It's actionable. It's a battle cry. It's our battle call to the American people saying, we are going to protect you. We're monitoring emerging threats, Sean. We're watching, you know, doing wastewater testing right now across the nation in order to see those emerging threats. For the first time, we partnered with the CDC to issue an alert, a HAN alert, throughout the United States. With the rise of metamidine, we were able to catch that just as it started. We issued that alert. We sent it across the country to warn first responders and doctors that we have metamidine out there. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's rhino tranquilizer. That's the quote-unquote term that they use for it on the streets. And it kills. So we are going to stay ahead of our adversaries. We are not going to sit there and support policies that only benefit the drug cartels and our adversaries. We put a stop to that. That's what the Democrats want to do. Let them continue doing that. Let the American people and the White House work together to fight these heinous and horrific and horrible cartels, these terrorist organizations that have done nothing but wreak havoc and kill American citizens for decades, for decades.
You have reported for this show about the drug problem at the border. I can't even count how many times. I've been down to the border 15, 17 times myself. Once I went into a drug warehouse, the biggest warehouse I was ever in, and nothing but confiscated floor-to-ceiling drugs with a stench you can barely stand when you go in there. This president's going after narco-terrorists, the drug cartels, got Maduro. He's going after the Mexican cartels. How are those efforts going?
They're amazing. The efforts are unlike anything we've ever seen in the past. President Trump is a president. It's power through strength. What he says, he means. Everybody knows this, whether you're talking to leaders in Central America or Mexico like I have, or across the globe. When he took Maduro that was the most incredible operation that we've ever seen in the Western Hem, and he extracted Maduro from Venezuela, it sent a message, Sean, across the globe that this is a president nobody is going to mess with. And believe me, the message is heard loud and clear. We're bringing it back to the Western Hemisphere. We're protecting the Western Hem. We're working with our partners in the Western Hem on multilateral, bilateral talks. I can tell you it's constant, it's ongoing. We have aid from partners all across the Western Hem, whether that is Ecuador or El Salvador or talks in Bolivia, in Mexico. We saw what happened in Mexico when we shared intelligence with the Mexican government, and we saw the Mexican government take immediate action and target El Mencho, and he was killed. And these are actions that we are going to continue to see. And I can make you this promise, Sean. This is President Trump's promise to the American people. We will not relent. We will go after these cartels. They will not operate with impunity like they did under President Biden and other presidents. President Trump is hyper-focused on this. Our HSTFs, our intelligence, and our DEA, as well as our local and state law enforcement, working together to target these cartels and remove them. And will not only remove the heads of the snake, we're going to remove their financing. We're going to hit them where it hurts most. We're going to pull the rug out from under them, and they will be struggling to survive. That I can promise you.
Sara Carter, I can't think of anyone better to be our drug czar. Thank you. Appreciate you being with us. Thank you. All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.